Okay, I think we can begin. So, hello everyone. My name is Nadine from KIBO-RPC Secretariat, and I will be guiding this session about the fifth KIBO-RPC, so the Robot Programming Challenge today. And thank you for attending this guidance session, and let's begin. So, here is the today's agenda. We will start with an overview of the KIBO-RPC. We will also explain the program creation, the preliminary round, and the final round, which will be conducted on the International Space Station. At the end of this guidance session, we will have a Q&A session. We may be able to answer to your question via the chat, even during the explanation, so please feel free to use the chat as needed. So you can add your question in the chat and we will answer to it at the end of the session or when I'm speaking. Okay, so we will start with KIBO-RPC overview. So the Kibo Robot Programming Challenge is a robot programming competition for students in which students compete to complete a given mission using a robot on the International Space Station with the action students have programmed. So this program is open to graduate students and undergraduate students from around the world with a focus on the Asia-Pacific region. So all the details will be written in the guidebook. So when you have it, please read it carefully. The KIBO-RPC aims to increase your skill, your expertise, and aspiration in science, in technology, and in mathematics. So, with KIBO-RPC, you will understand the differences among simulated environments and real environments on the ISS. And you will learn about the position and the attitude estimation of the space robots, as well as the error correction of a space robot. Overall, we hope this competition will be a great learning experience for you all. So, now I want to take a moment to explain what is the International Space Station, or the ISS, in which the final round will take place. It is a huge facility where astronauts can implement experiences. So the ISS is located 400 kilometers above the ground in orbit. And the final round will be conducted in the Japanese Experiment Module Kibo that you can see on this picture. Okay, now I will introduce the robots that have on board the ISS. So there is two types of free-flying robots on board the ISS. First, you have here INT-Ball, which is used by the crew for routine video footage of the ISS. And then secondly, you have AstroBee here, which is a NASA robot that can help astronauts with a lot of daily tasks. And this mission of today's program will be with AstroBee. So every year, the KIBO-RPC asks to students to create a program for AstroBee, but the mission of the robot is different each time. You can see an overview of the precedent mission and their participation on the screen. You can see that every year a lot of teams can participate from all over the world, and we have a lot of increasing of students participating every year. For last year game story, it consisted in helping the astronaut to repair leakage by using laser irradiation of AstroBee. As you can see with targets, and AstroBee moves and do laser irradiation on the targets each time until the goal. Last year competition allowed 421 teams to participate for a total of 1,685 students. And the on-orbit final were conducted online and in JAXA's Tsukuba Space Center in Japan. You can see here, this is Tsukuba, the Space Center. Okay, so now we will see the details of the fifth KIBO-RPC, so this year mission. So for this year game story, it will be an astronaut on the ISS preparing experiments which will be conducted for an event which called ASEAN Try 0G. But some of the tools and the manuals necessary for the experiments that he will be conducting are missing. So your mission is to find the missing items with AstroBee. So I will now explain what will be your mission concretely. So first, this is a top view of the Kibo module. AstroBee starts from the dock station here. And you have to move the robot through the different zone of the Kibo module and identify the different images on different locations. For example, you go from there and you move there to the image. So you have 4 areas to inspect and in which you will see different images. So here you have plants, here a manual, here tools, and here a triangle. And the astronaut is here. When your patrol is over, you have to report what you saw to the astronaut. So your robots has to go tell to the astronauts here. Then the astronaut will have an image on his hands and you have to process to scan the image to see what he is looking for. So on this example, it will be the tool, for example. And when you identify the object that the astronaut is looking for, you have to move back to the object and take a picture of the image. So here. Then you will have a signal light who will light up. So when the signal lights up, to show the astronaut the location of the tool, the mission is complete. In the final round only, AstroBee's signal lights illuminate in accordance with the report when the mission is declared complete. And one thing really important is to note that the time limit is 5 minutes, including the mission completion report. Okay, so that's all for the game instruction. And now I would like to give you a few tips which are really important to succeed the mission. So first, you have to be sure to scan correctly the image so AstroBee can recognize them. It's really important to be careful about that. The second advice is to think about an optimal route to move towards object efficiently while avoiding keep out zone. So when you have an optimal route, really thought about the route, it may lead to a higher score. So it's really important to think about the most optimal route to adopt. The third point is to have to anticipated problem that robots or your program may face. It can be a lot of things. You can think about it for yourself, but for example, you can have your program could be stuck in a loop and didn't work. Or maybe the images, you can't load the images, so it can be a problem too. And another one who is really important too is the mapping of your program that could be weak and you have difficulties to move your robots, for example. But it can be a lot of things. So you have to think about it because it can really have an impact on your program and the succeed of your robots. The fourth advice that I want to give you is the more you train and correct your program, the stronger your program is going to be on the real run. So you have to really, really take time to do a lot of tries until you have the best program and you have thought about all the possibilities that you can be facing. And you have to have in mind too that the final round will be on the ISS and not on a simulator. So you have to take into account this too. Okay, for the tips, it's all. Um, okay. Okay. So now I will quickly introduce you the schedule, but it has to be confirmed. So for now, it is the dates that we fixed, but it can be changed. So you have to check the guidebook. So for now, the important dates that you have to remember are first, the application. The application has to be completed by May 13. And you have to have in mind that the hour, like here, it's 11:59, but it's GST. That means it's Japanese time and not local time. So you have to be really careful and not miss the last day of submission because you forget that it would be Japanese time. So it's Japanese time. Be careful about it. Okay, so that's it for the application. So May 13. And to join the competition and to fill the application and the registration, you have to visit the KIBO-RPC website. Then the second step is to develop your program. The program development methods will be explained in details later. So I will explain it later on this session. Then starting April 1st, so it's here, April 1st, you will receive the rule book and the programming manual. So the rule book is for the mission, what you have to do, and the programming manual is how to program your program, or how to develop your program. And from this date, you will be able to train your program on a simulator. So you have to submit your program also for the preliminary rounds here by June 20. It's really important. So this is the three main dates for now. But you have to keep in mind too that the qualifying period will be in June, in the end of June to the start of July. Then you can maybe, if you pass if you succeed the qualifying period, and you can go to the final round. You have a time until late August to modify your program, and then in October or November it will be the final round. So yeah, that's all for the dates, the main dates, and don't forget it's Japanese time, really important. So how to participate? The first step is to fill out your registration. Your registration form will be on KIBO-RPC website. So to participate, you have a few conditions. You have to be a student. You have to constitute a team between 3 and 8 persons. And you have to design to have a team leader that will be responsible for the team. So when you register, you will receive a registration completion notice by email with the login ID for the JAXA simulation environment. The simulation environment where you will be able to train your program. I will explain it later. So please don't forget that the deadline of the application is May 13. It's really important. If you need to update the information after sending the application form, you can let us know via email indicating your team name, and you will be able to do it. You can make modification to your team information even after the application deadline has passed, but you have to register your team by May 13. Okay. So, yeah, depending on the criteria that you meet, you will have different ways of participating. Mainly, if you are on a KIBO-RPC participating country or region or school, it will be not it will be a really normal way to register, but you have to be careful when, for example, you are from a country that is not from a KIBO-RPC participating country. You have the possibility to participate in another way. You can participate through the UNOOSA international slots. So you have to keep in mind that if you, even if you're not from a KIBO-RPC country, it's okay. You can participate in another way, but you have to look really carefully about the criteria. Okay. So the second step is to create your program and to use what we call the independent study period to learn by yourself about IA and machine learning and about Java language and program development in general. So the programming language will be Java. So you have to learn in advance how to code Java. And for all the programming of the robots per se, you can access to several resources to learn how to do your program. So first, you can learn about AstroBee programming on NASA GitHub. So you have these two sites, and you have also the AstroBee websites. And you will also have access to video on the KIBO-RPC website to learn how to create a program, and in top of that, to create a program that is taking into account the rule of the game. So there is a lot of tutorial on the KIBO-RPC website, so you have to watch it, especially if you're a beginner in developing. Yeah. So yeah, and the video taking into account the rule of the game will be uploaded around April. Okay. So to set up your computer, you have to check your PC specification first, but a typical PC specification should be good enough for your simulation in the web environment. So when you use a simulator, it will be good if it's a normal PC. So once you have confirmed the specification, you have to install Android Studio. Then, after downloading this Android Studio program, you have to download the additional components. And then finally, you have to download the template APK, what we call template APK, which can be found in the download tabs on the website. So you have to check really carefully the website. But don't worry, everything will be in the guidebook, so please check the website. So the template APK, it is a program area of AstroBee that cannot be created by the participants and has to be prepared in advance by JAXA. So you download the template, and on the from the template, you can create your program. So participants are asked to write their own program using this template. It's really important. And as I said, the language will be Java. So I think it's all for the specification of the PC. Yeah. When all the downloads will be complete, then you can start to develop your program and to try to improve it by testing it again and again. So really you like try to use this independent study period to learn a lot of about developing, because it takes a lot of time, and it's important to create your program in time because there is a deadline, of course. So now we will explain how to create your program. So the process for creating the program is also explained in one of the development tutorial video of the KIBO-RPC website. So please take a look for more information. But now we will explain the main of the creation process. So first, you will build a program using the Android Studio on the PC that you have set up. Then, when you open the downloaded template APK with Android Studio, you will find a file called Your Service in the lower layer of the app folder. So here. Okay, so when you open this file, you will see codes on the right. In the area indicated by the red square, so here, you will see the line Write Here Your Plan. This is where you have to write your program. So the program codes available and writing methods are described in the programming manual. So you can use the manual for doing this code. But if you want to add a function that is not in the command list in the programming manual, you have to add it by yourself or to import the library. Okay. So next, upload the APK that you created using your account. So you upload it on the server. Then you log into JAXA simulation server using the ID that you received after your registration by email. So here in the site you can access to the simulator after the approval. When you log in, you will see a screen like this one. So here, simulator issues, simulator release, preliminary round info, and the board. When you click on the simulation tab, you will see a screen like this. So you have to upload your APK or drag it, and you drag and drop it in the specific area. Either downloading, either drag and put it on the site. So after uploading the APK, you start the simulation to let your program run. So this is an image of the execution of the program. Once you uploaded the APK on the simulation tab, the Start button will become active. So please click it to run the simulation here. It's only when you load the APK that it will be appeared. Then, after the simulation, you will get your results. When you click on results here, you will see a screen like this one. You can see a list of results of the simulation that you have done. When you conduct more than 20 simulations, you will need to delete previous simulation results. So you can have up to 20 data on the server. Then you can click on the View button on the right side of the simulation results to see the details of your of your run here. And here, the remove button if you want to remove it. Okay, so here, this is an example of the detailed result when you click on the button. You can see the game time and score, and you can also use the buttons at the bottom of the screen to view the simulation results movie and download the simulation log file. So here. Okay. Now, now you have to analyze the result and give feedback to the programs you created to improve it. So if you repeat this process to create your program for the, you have to repeat this process to create your program for the preliminary rounds. Sorry. For detailed procedure and example of the program creation, please refer to the tutorial video. And if you have question, you can contact us freely. You can contact freely the Secretariat. However, please note that depending on the issue that you have, the Secretariat may not be able to answer to the question for the sake of fairness of the event. So it will really depend on your question, but we will try to help you if we can, of course. Okay, so now we will take a moment to see how the preliminary round will take place. Now that we saw how to create the program. So in the preliminary rounds, each country's space agency will run APKs submitted by the deadline using the simulator, and teams with the highest average score will access to the final rounds. So here you see, as I said before, you have 4 areas in total, and the type of image here is an example. It will be randomly placed, and the difficulty level will also be random. Okay. About the preliminary round, you can submit your IP key from May 27 to June 20. So submitting your IP key will allow you to access to the qualifying period. And the qualifying period is scheduled for the period between June 21 to July 7. But the final schedule will be included in the rule book, so you have to check the deadline again to be sure. But try to remember these 2 dates. Deadline is June 20 at 11 p.m. 59 GST, so Japanese time, for the AP key. And for the qualifying period, it will be the next day, starting the next day, so June 21 to July 7. Okay. Then, yeah, okay. So even though you can create up to 20 data of APK when you do your runs, you can only submit 1 APK for the preliminary round. So you have to choose which one you want to place the preliminary rounds with. And each team will have 10 runs of their APK. The random factors are the same for all the teams, and the score is calculated on the average of 10 runs. Okay, so the preliminary round is organized by each country and each space agencies, so the organization can be different regarding where are you from. But in Japan, we will hold an event for the preliminary round, and the event will be broadcast on YouTube. So Now I will explain how the final round will take place. So, the final round is conducted by installing the program to AstroBee in orbit on the ISS. So it will be in the real environment of no gravity in the ISS in orbit. So for the details and the program submission dates, it will be announced to the finalists to a later date, but the program has to be submitted in advance. You have to be careful about that. For now, we are expecting late July to late August for the final round program submission. But of course, we will tell you later for the final decision of the schedule. So also for the final round, it is really, really important to understand that the environment will not be the same as the simulated environment. The on-orbit environment will need a strong mapping that you will have to prepare when developing your program. So the on-orbit environment is not as constant as the simulated one because it's the real environment of the ISS. So you can easily lose your positioning if you don't collect enough image of Kibo interior. That's what we called the sparse mapping. So in other words, the self-positioning estimation is performed by matching the images taken by the camera during the flight with the feature points of the map acquired when you collect images of the Kibo module. So you have to take time to prepare your mapping. Okay, now about the final round. So it will be consisting of two events. First, you have the APK final run, which is scheduled to take place in early October. On this event, the finalist APK will be run on AstroBee on the ISS. The finalists can watch the video in real time, but the results will not be announced on that day. So it will be on a later date. You will know which is the winner, which team is the winner. So next, you have the final round event, which is an event where the results of the competition from the IPK final run are watched with the astronauts, and at this time, the results will be announced. So you have really in two times. First, the running of the program, and then an event where you can watch your run and the other team run and know with the astronauts and know which is the team that win the game. So the format of this event is most likely to be on a hybrid format, so online and in person, but we will inform you of the details as soon as we decide it. Also, the final round events will be live streamed exclusively for event participants. So even those teams that could not access to the final round, who failed at the preliminary round, can also watch the events if you want to see the winner. And for the picture, it's the event details of last year events with the astronauts and the participants. And this year, again, it will be broadcast on YouTube, and you have the broadcast of the fourth event too here on YouTube. You can watch it if you want to see. Okay. So that's conclude the explanation of the fifth Kibo Robot Programming Challenge Guidance session. Thank you for your participation.